This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And make sure to order Jamie Glazov's new critically acclaimed jihadist psychopath, how he is charming, seducing, and devouring us. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Glazov Gang. Tonight, riots and leftist terror. With us this evening, Brandon Straka, the campaign founder for Walk Away. Brandon, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Brandon, you are back by popular demand.
That's good to hear.
Okay, before we begin, I'm a little bit fascinated with the hat, and maybe some of our audience would like to know what's going on here.
Certainly. Well, first of all, I love hats. I'm very much a hat person. I have a little bit of a hat collection. I'd like to have a larger hat collection as time goes on, but I have a hat collection. And this style of hat is what is known as a pork pie hat. And I don't know, I felt kind of trendy. It just felt right. And I thought that I'd look special for you tonight.
All right, fantastic, fantastic. So Brandon, on to the serious and also, I think, quite frightening developments of our time. You recently wrote on Twitter how you left the left. You wrote this tweet, and you ended it by saying, I left the left because I thought this, I thought the left was terrible. But you said that, quote, I did not realize the left was this far gone, that the left is openly engaging in murder, theft, and burning America to the ground. Why don't we begin with that in terms of the riots and what your perspective is as a former leftist?
I honestly, I just don't even know how to begin articulating how I feel. In everything that's going on. It seems like every day I am turning on, social media or, the media, and I'm seeing images and videos of things that I cannot believe are happening in the United States of America. And the absurdity of the racial tension and division that's happening right now, that's completely illogical. I think that how is it possible that we're more at odds and having this sort of racial war in 2020 than I think probably was going on in the 70s or 80s or after? How is this happening? And I'm seeing videos now of masses of white people yesterday on their knees begging black people for forgiveness. I saw a video of black people on their knees kissing the feet, or white people on their knees kissing the feet of black people. What the hell is going on? And this is as buildings are burning down, neighborhoods are being destroyed, national monuments are being destroyed. Where's the leadership in these cities? And a 77-year-old black police officer was shot and killed as people are running around him stealing television sets. I did not know that the left was this far gone. I left the left in 2017. Most people know that. I started Walk Away in 2018. Most people know that. I had no idea when I left the left it was this bad. I thought it was bad enough. I had no idea this is what we were looking at.
Right. Well, Brandon, once we understand what the left is, we see it's diabolical evil. And so we saw, tragically enough, this criminal evil crime committed in the murder of George Floyd that all of us are outraged by and saddened by and furious about. Evil cop, possessed cop, you can see it just by looking at him, evil thing. And we need to all stand up against something like that. But the way that we know that evil works is that evil exploits evil for more evil. So now we have the left and everything that you just described. Let's get to what you just said. You wrote a tweet about that because, yes, there's all these white people kneeling, begging for forgiveness. I didn't even know that they were slave masters at any time. It's very strange. And who are they kneeling to exactly? How do we know who these black Americans are, right? In general, this is a huge topic here. But you said in your tweet that you will never do this. Can you comment a little bit on where you stand on this in terms of why somebody like you would have to apologize to anybody about this stuff.
Well, here's the thing, and this is when we start talking about issues of race or bigotry of any kind, whether it be racism, homophobia, any type of bigotry, we end up always getting in this zone where everything becomes an either or, a black or white, a 0 or a 10. And suddenly, somehow, the conversation of all the shades of gray and all the degrees in between get lost. So I want to be clear. Although I think it should be obvious, I will be clear and say, I know that racism does exist, and I know that there are racial issues and tensions that take place in the world. Where I have a problem is that we live in this society where a lot of people, a lot of Black people are saying, you can't possibly understand what our experience is like. You can't possibly understand what we go through. Okay, well, why don't you just take a stab at explaining it? But we rarely get that explanation. And then everything becomes a great hyperbole. Well, we can't even go into a store without people chasing us around. We always have to live in fear every day for our lives. And I'm listening to this, I'm saying this simply is not true. Now, that doesn't mean that there is no racism. That doesn't mean whatever, but we're burning the country down, and we're destroying America based off of this assumption that this reality that so many, not all, but so many Black people are telling us that they live in, and there is no evidence to support this story, this narrative that's being told about what the Black experience is like, including crime reports, which, the 2019 crime reports just came out. 9 unarmed Black men were killed in 2019 by police officers. Now that is 0.0000022% of the Black community. And unarmed doesn't mean innocent. Unarmed doesn't mean not a threat. It simply means they weren't carrying a firearm. So for 0.0000022% of the Black population, we're going to burn the country down? What are we doing?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, the left is behind this. And of course, also, what I was saying too is, of course, it doesn't, it's a given. We know racism exists. We're against racism, etc. I was also saying in my last comment that many of these Black Americans, that the white people that are kneeling and begging for forgiveness, many of these Black people that they're bowing to, these arguably, descendants of former slaves, but they weren't slaves themselves. Yes, I'm sure many experienced racism, but why are these people apologizing to them? What's the connection? And many of these black people might not even be Americans. They might be from somewhere else. So the whole thing is a little strange, right?
Well, listen, there's an old adage that, give a man a fish, he eats for a day. Teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime, or something along those lines. And the point is that, as it pertains to what we're saying now, when we're doing things like, these masses of white people on the ground, on their knees, kissing the feet of Black people, begging for forgiveness, we are infantilizing an entire race of people. We are treating an entire race of people like they're incapable, like they are victims, like they're babies, like they can't do for themselves. Continuing this narrative or being a part of this narrative is so destructive. Because essentially, what we're messaging to the Black community, or let me be more specific, to those in the Black community who are believing their own victim narrative, is that none of the failures or the shortcomings in your life are your fault. It's my fault. It's every white person's fault. So there's no point in you even trying to do better or trying to do for yourself, because everything is stacked against you. The system is unfair. And this is what I'm saying, where this is not a good or positive or uplifting or empowering message that we're sending to anybody.
Yeah, and you just very profoundly synthesized one of the most pernicious messages of the left and how it operates, this exoneration of people from individual responsibility. Brandon, yeah, thank you, Brandon. Let's finish off with this. Just when these evil communist revolutions are occurring, It's always interesting is a word, you could use it, but the people who are committing suicide within the movement in a very, very stupid, self-destructive way. So revolutions always eat their children. What I'm getting at is that there's this video out there, there's many videos, video that you posted on Twitter, and there's these two guys and they're like, go, go, go. They're like at their window and they're cheering on the protesters, and then the protesters throw rocks and smash their windows. And the guy's going, what's going on? We're on your side. Oh, and he's so confused. It's like, buddy, welcome to the communist revolution. Yes. And you wrote on the tweet, things are getting complicated in woke land. And that's your profound sense of humor. But that means a lot. These people who support these revolutions and then get eaten up by them. Why don't we finish up on that? What do you think?
Well, it is my good friend Mikey Harlow loves to say that the left is just a snake that's eating its own tail. It is the left eating its own, as we've seen time and again with a number of different issues. And we even see this with celebrities all the time. It could be the most woke celebrity who has spent their whole life and their whole career dedicated to supporting and uplifting liberal causes. But one wrong tweet or one wrong step, and the left will completely annihilate this person, destroy their career, and cancel them. So the point that I'm making here is, they're not even asking any questions anymore, and there is no loyalty, and there is no sense of camaraderie or respect. Those rioters didn't care whether or not those people in that house were on their side or not. They were out to destroy, and because the left is, I think at this point, just filled with rage. They're not asking questions. They don't care about loyalty, and it is, in fact, just a snake eating its own tail. That's what it is. And they will eventually devour themselves.
Absolutely. And I've studied the left my entire life. And there was one theme that always struck me while I was reading. And many of these communists and leftists, I remember one in particular, he was confronted by somebody, and the person said to him, but these people are innocent. And the revolutionary said, the more innocent, the better. Wow. Yeah, wow. This is the left for you. Brandon, we got to go, but there's a hashtag unsilent. Hashtag unsilent. What does that mean?
Well, we're kicking off the hashtag unsilent to mean that it is time for the silent majority to become unsilent. We are going to speak up. We're going to fight for America, the heart and soul of America. We are going to fight back against the authoritarian left. We are not going to allow them to push us around to control the narrative or control this country. And on October 3rd in Washington, D.C., I want to encourage and invite all of your viewers to come to the Unsilent Majority March on Washington. And they can go to unsilentmarch.com to get all the information about that event. It's going to be amazing. I want to see everybody there. Hashtag unsilent, unsilentmarch.com.
Fantastic. Brandon, thank you for your courage, nobility, and dedication to the truth.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining the Glazov Gang this evening. We will see you soon. Good night.